Hello all. I thought I'd show you my Lasius collection. Starting off with Lasius flavus. These two are the only native ants in my collection. I am Ant Scotland, however. I keep invasive and common exotic species for research and documentation, and plus because it's fun and it's ant keeping. You can keep whatever you want, in my opinion, as long as you're responsible. Which I am. I don't release non-native species into my local flora because one, they won't survive the winter, and two, it's Scotland. I'm sure the local Lasius niger would have something to say about that. So yeah, this is Lasius flavus, and aren't they just kinda cute-ish? They're just so tiny. There's one drinking from honey right now. Isn't that kind of endearing almost? Um, yeah, no, there's Lasius flavus. They're very, very timid ants, I've come to find. However, it depends on the colony size. Sometimes Lasius flavus can be really timid, and then when the colony gets big, they're quite aggressive. But this colony here seems to be in its intermediate stage, in my opinion. Um, it depends on the really structure, because sometimes sometimes the workers will become confident, and then sometimes the workers will be timid. Like yesterday they were timid and now they're very active. So I think it depends on time and worker size. So I think they've had their honey and they're nice and energized and active. There's the queen cleaning herself there. You can see some fresh eggs also. Sorry about the noise in the background, by the way. That is the incubator which I keep them in. Here is Lasius niger. Now you can notice a size difference between Lasius flavus and Lasius niger by just looking at them, really. If I zoom out, there's Lasius flavus and there's Lasius niger. Lasius niger is like maybe two millimeters bigger than Lasius flavus. Not a huge difference, but 6 millimeters and then 9 millimeters. It's like 2 to 3 millimeters. Sometimes flavus queens come bigger, sometimes they don't. Depends on how much the colony is fed during the nuptial flight season, because that can be dependent on that as food intake. But moving on here, up here to zooming in, we can see that the brood here is quite developed. There's eggs at the bottom right, not bottom right, sorry, bottom left. At the bottom right, we can see larvae and two cocoons. You can see a larvae there at the cotton. There's one worker, and the one worker is very active, I must admit, tending to the larvae all the time. And the queen there has decided to say, I'm just going to have a drink. So the queen has just left her babies to go and drink the honey. So we can see there, we're just going to zoom in, and we'll try and zoom in without shaking the camera too much to have a look. You can see there that they are she is doing fine. They've got a brownish toast-like shimmer to them, like how you would toast bread, and you can kind of like that, if you know what I mean. I'm kind of a weird analogy, I know, but you know, kind of like the Iridomyrmex of Lasius, really, in all fairness. I mean, Iridomyrmex and Lasius, I mean, you know, in Australia they probably call Iridomyrmex garden ants or something like that. We call them here. I mean, kind of like that, I suppose. But similar behaviour, I suppose. Lasius niger is very aggressive, and Lasius flavus is very timid. Sometimes, well, timid as in, you know, they don't come to the ground often, because sometimes, Lasius flavus actually farm aphids underground, so that's why they don't often come up into the surface. So you only really see them around nuptial flight time, and sometimes when you disturb their habitat. Well, that's what I've been told. But yeah, no, these two colonies are doing absolutely fantastic. I'm very pleased. These are from Antkit as well. So it's Lasius niger and Lasius flavus. Got cool nameplates there too. Very pleased with them. No complaints at all. I got a new setup as well. I'll show you that in another episode. And we'll just move this here so we can get a look at what they both look like side by side. And the brood pile is very big on Lasius niger. You can see the queen has been doing quite a bit of work. And the Lasius flavus is growing steady. If I can get a zoom in on her without it being blurry, that would be lovely. Come on. Well, that would have been a good shot, but unfortunately I don't think it's going to allow me to do that. Wait a minute, I think it might. There we go, kind of. Yeah, she's doing fine. I know it kind of looks like she's on her side, but she's on the cotton, resting with her eggs. So she seems very active and healthy actually once she's had a drink of honey. So I kind of just did tip them upside down. So there's where she would normally be. She was cleaning earlier on before I caught her on film. Yeah, no, I think these are pretty healthy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end the episode now. And yeah, nuptial flight season is in July and August, so not too far away. I would encourage you to catch and release queens, like catch them and then raise them to 5 to 10 workers, and then it would give some colonies a starting chance, because some colonies don't make it to a big massive colony. Some colonies just die, unfortunately. I think that's an escaped Fedoli Megacephala from yesterday's episode. Better go put that back. Come here, you. Did I get it? No, I didn't. I'll get it later. But yeah, no, while the Fedoli Megacephala just goes and runs around, yeah, I'd encourage you to catch and release, catch them, raise them, and then release them, because then they get a better chance of survival in the wild. And only 2% of queens make it, and it's a bit sad to think about it, because all the queens go out and have the effort, and where's that thing going? All make the effort, and then they all just get eaten by birds and blah 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 blah. I mean, I know that's like the way of nature, but gives these insects a little bit of a chance at survival. And sometimes ants do pollinate different plants as well. I know they do pollinate dandelions, because I've seen it before in the wild. But I'm only saying that because my bearded dragon eats dandelions. He loves dandelions. Likes his greens. Doesn't really eat many insects nowadays. That's because he's old. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. So, yeah, I'll end the episode just now, and I'll see you all in a bit with a new episode. Probably some other colony of mine that aren't these, because these will be placed in the incubator for a good month or two, and then there'll probably be a booming colony, and then I'll give them a setup or something. Maybe I usually do tubs and tube setups, okay? I don't really give them elaborate setups. Like, this is my whole entire incubator here. Just tubs and tubes. That's Fedoli Megacephala right there. I'll show you. This is Fedoli Megacephala. Yeah, I don't tend to give them elaborate setups, because tubs and tube setups seem to be so easy, and I just think that it's easy and great. It's just universal really when you've not really got a setup. So it's also how stores raise their ants sometimes, tubs and tubes. I know a few stores that do raise their ants like this. They put them in tubs and tubes and they feed them, and then when they get sold, they they chew them up and put the next colony in. Like Messer here, what I do is I just their substrate is just seeds, and this is great for Messer, by the way. So it's just seeds, and they just live in seeds, and they make their ant bread and all that sort of thing. This here, I probably should fling that out, but yeah, I'll do that later. But yeah, that's it for just now, I suppose. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next episode. Bye bye for now.